Because that's a good question.
Oh yeah.
Hi, folks.
Hi, Paula.
Paula's here. Five are waiting.
Uh-huh.
Hi, folks. The women are done. The women are done and getting. They're in their showers right now.
Yeah.
Carb loading, eating something,
Yep.
ice baths.
Yep.
Massages. Yeah.
We
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
not much we can do here. I'm going to put Jessica's thing up here just so we have something on the screen. Um, you know, Patreon Jessica, get on her newsletter.
Yeah.
So,
She she she
go
posted a
ahead.
great picture on her Patreon of her in her wool dress, which
Oh
I
yeah.
I just couldn't imagine wearing that thing.
Well, it is surprisingly thin. My
Oh,
winter stuff is much thicker, and you die when you try to wear it now. This one was sort of okay, as long as you weren't marching through the museum in the outside. That was still not okay.
see the things you see, the things you learn. Join
So,
Patreon.
okay, I saw the picture and read the headline. So you were doing a reenactment type thing?
Yeah, I demonstrate the medieval goldwork embroidery, and almost everything here in Bavaria is typical Bavarian with the sort of tacky, um, what are they, gentians, the edelweiss, and all the very folksy things, which are actually not very, very old. And I asked the museum, because they have very old buildings there that are in their core medieval, if I could do medieval gold work and show that to people to go further back in time.
Uh
And they
huh.
said, yeah, that's fine. And I said, okay, but then I'm not going to wear the dirndl, the classic Bavarian folk dress. Then I want to wear the real deal. And they were like, yeah, why not? And they sort of gave me free rein, and I'm allowed to do this. So I sit in one of the oldest buildings on the park, and in winter that is really, really cold, and in summer, yeah, it's really, really hot because there's just no insulation.
Ah,
But it comes very close to what people did back then. And that was sort of my, as much as I entertain the visitors, I also learn what was possible back then and what wasn't.
Yeah.
yeah,
Huh.
cool.
Uh,
So
yeah,
so is
it's
that
Very.
is
absolutely
it
cool.
is it fun to do? Do you get enough people to talk to that it's
Yeah, it was surprisingly good on Sunday because it was really hot here. We had 30 plus degrees, so it
ooh.
was the perfect weather to go swimming. But we had really, really interested people and good questions, good discussions. I had a lady there who was a fellow archaeologist and who is looking
Oh.
into the jewelry of Pergamon in Turkey, which is Troy to most people. And that was just amazing Byzantine jewelry. And I was like, oh wow.
Yeah, that would be cool. Oh
Yeah.
man.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And then you have
Wow.
a whole discussion on, because the earliest goldwork embroidery, the threads were likely made by the goldsmiths.
Oh, uh-huh. Sure.
Yeah. They basically do the same thing. And
Right.
that was just so nice to have that lady sitting there and just chatting. So it was really, really good. Yeah.
Wow. Fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Excellent.
Okay. And then Paula wants to know about Turkey. How did Turkey
Oh,
go?
interesting. It was really nice to meet people that I had met before in Uzbekistan, to meet new people, but the
Hmm.
organization was really, really rubbish. And I can only warn people that if you are invited, because they are looking for embroiderers from the West to come to the festival, they need new people every year. Um, uh, Please contact me first, and I'll give you the gory details. Because you're basically left with a group of people that don't speak your language. If things go wrong, you're on your own.
Wow.
And we had people dropped off like flies. There was either an illness going around or people had severe food poisoning. But because you
Oh.
are in a culture where people don't want to lose face, they weren't talking straight to us. So we didn't know, is there a virus going around or is there something in the food? And because I'm a
Mm.
vegetarian, I didn't eat it. And hey, I didn't get sick. So it was probably food poisoning. But that was how bad the food was, how the hygiene was. And I'm an
Oh,
experienced traveler, especially in those areas. I've seen it all. Nothing phases me. But I returned home 5 days early because I thought, no,
Oh,
no. And then they drove me to the wrong airport, which was absolutely, yeah,
oh
wow.
my. Oh
Yeah, I
my.
read your
yeah.
description and it sounded like, yeah, you couldn't get out of there fast enough.
No, no. And we couldn't escape. I mean, the first person who escaped was an Australian lady on the second day.
No?
Um,
Wow.
yeah, because our days were very long. They basically had us stitching for 12 to 13 hours a day on a plastic garden chair, and that was just not fun.
Oh, come
That is
on.
something you can't do. No, you can't do that.
No.
No,
That's
no,
torture.
no.
No.
That is torture. I mean, on a good chair, yeah, happy to do it.
Right.
14 days in a row? No, no.
Wow.
Yeah.
No. No, absolutely not.
No,
Wow.
no, no. And we had
Crazy.
to pay for our own airfare, our own transportation. The rest was free, but the rest was so
It
basic.
was so bad. It was. It cost you
Yeah,
in other
Oh,
ways. Yeah. Oh
yeah,
man.
yeah. So no, no. But it
oh.
it was wonderful to see the bandwidth of what everybody was doing. That was
Mm-hmm.
really, really cool. I've seen
Uh,
things. I think that the little video of that lady with her treadle machine doing needle lace. That I was mesmerized. I was sort of,
uh-huh.
can you do that with a treadle machine? Holy moly. But yeah, you can. Yeah.
Well, so you
No,
learned
and I'd
something,
never
but
seen that.
it was a high price to
Oh
Yeah.
pay
yeah.
for it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Definitely.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
What a
No,
shame. What a
but
shame. So,
it
folks,
is
they.
and
What?
strange.
Yeah.
Because it's such a high profile festival. You wouldn't I would have never thought that it would turn
Oh,
out that
so
way.
this was a serious, big time event,
It is one of the biggest in the
and
world.
it was so rubbish. Oh man. Oh.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
And
that's
it
not
was
good.
the 34th edition, so they've been doing it for a while. Yeah.
So get your act together for crying out loud. Wow.
That's
Oh, I
oh
thought this was
crazy.
just some kind of a regional thing that you went to. Oh,
No, no.
jeez.
It's
Oh.
it's
Oh
it's
no. Go.
it's
Oh no.
comparable with the one you have in the US, the one that is in Santa Fe,
Oh, the Santa
Imola.
Fe. Yes.
Yeah,
There's a big international, and it happens, I think, in the fall, if I'm not mistaken. Probably right around
yeah,
the balloon fiesta. Ooh, maybe I'll go
yeah,
see it. Anyway,
yeah.
that's I've been there. I've been there. I've been to it. It's huge, and you get fantastic work. It's I don't know where they house them. I don't know how that all works, but stuff just phenomenal. I mean, my parents have picked up a few things while they were there. My mom is loves art, so she loves going to that.
Uh-huh.
Ooh, maybe I can talk my dad into driving us up to Santa Fe. Hey,
There you go.
Dad, want to go to Santa
There you
Fe
go.
during the balloon fiesta?
Work the
Maybe like
system,
a
Beth.
Yeah,
Work the system.
yeah,
oh man,
yeah.
man.
No,
But that's a fantastic one. Yeah, and then you've got all
Yeah.
the museums, everything's there. But yeah, there's a lot of visitors for that one. I mean it's packed.
and that was our problem as well. We didn't have visitors because we were so far out of Istanbul. You are on the first stop on the Silk Route, either out of Istanbul or the last one before you entered Istanbul, which is really nice. I mean, the park and the caravanserai where all yeah, the camels and everybody, all the traders would have been in the 15th and 16th century. That was amazing with their own mosque, and it was just spectacular. But people from Istanbul didn't come out.
Won't make the trip.
No,
I
no.
know.
And that
No.
gets boring very quickly. I mean, in the beginning, it's nice to get to know your fellow people.
Right.
But because most of them didn't speak English, it was very lonely for me particularly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
the weirdest thing ever. Yeah.
Yeah. I've been to poorly attended trade shows, and yeah, after you talk to the neighbors, It's just like,
that-
can we go home now? It's
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. And when it then lasts every day until past midnight, which is
oh,
way past my sleeping time, that
yeah.
is just no, no, no. You get so tired.
What a
Yeah, so
shame.
Hmm.
no.
Yeah,
Oh,
Yeah.
that's too bad. That's too bad. I
Uh,
just lost my
but got
threads.
got a few good friends from it, which is always nice. And I found out that there's a similar big thing in Berlin with over 500
Oh,
people coming there. So I'm definitely going to see that one and meet up again with people that I met there. So
yeah,
it wasn't a total loss.
yeah. But close.
yeah,
Close to a total. As close as you want to get, anyway.
yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
not good.
What a
Not good.
shame. For folks joining us, the women finished about, now about an hour ago. Um, we there's nothing we can do about that. I mean, that's just sports, and it was a opening stage, and it was short, and they started early and finished early. So we decided to, I decided that we'd at least get this thing started, and so we'll be here for another half hour or so, just to kind of get this thing kicked off. Now tomorrow's stage is I don't know how this is going to work because they have a regular stage, and then they're doing a short time trial. I think that's afterwards. I haven't looked at the timing, but it's like a 3 mile time trial. So for those women, I mean, that's barely getting warmed up. Why they're doing this? It's like to get 8 stages in 7 days, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's
Yeah.
going to be an experience all the way around. So have no idea how it's going to play out on TV, but we'll be here at the appointed time and we'll just see how it goes. And yeah, first time with the women. Well, this is only the second time they've done the Tour de France for the women in this format. And last year I watched it most of the time after the fact. So to do this, the men I always watch live because I'm just like that. But you almost have to. But for this, it's kind of a bit of an experiment. So we'll do the best we can, but we'll be here every day, no matter what, and we'll just see how it plays
Sit
out.
and
So
sit and stitch for a little bit.
yeah.
Yeah.
How
Uh,
can we go
And I think
wrong?
we'll be fine for tomorrow because the broadcast starts tomorrow an hour before our broadcast, and they usually do about 15 to 20 minutes pre-show. So we definitely should see some racing live.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
But not
Good.
not the first stage. The first stage is over by the time we get live. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. So you have a better gauge of that than I do because, like they say, they start at 5 o'clock in the morning, but they'll spend an hour or more just doing stuff that nobody cares about before the race starts. So it's hard for me to gauge when the
Yeah.
racing actually starts. Where you get a better sense of it all the way around. So yeah, only one option: move to Europe. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nah.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, we need
not
to go
happening.
to Paula.
Yeah, Paula. Yeah,
Yeah, go visit
Yeah.
Paula.
Yeah.
Paula's working and listening. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's great. Wow. Yeah.
Hmm.
So Paula says, "Sit and work for a bit more." Paula's got to kill off the rest of the day. So Jennifer not with us. Get this, okay? The cats are back. Jennifer. Okay, here's the story. She said she can't join us today because they're catching kittens. So my response was, again? And this is from Jennifer. They came back with the mama a couple of weeks ago. Turns out a neighbor lady is very friendly with her, and she is going to take in Olive. So the mother has a name now, Olive. This alley cat has a name, and the kittens. So Olive and the kids. She's a neighbor from a street over and came by our street looking for the babies. Our other neighbor sent her to our house, Jennifer's house, so we've been working together to figure out what to do with them. Jennifer caught them all this morning in carriers baited with food, and Olive and her babies are in Jennifer's shed now. So now Jennifer's husband, Urian, and I have come to get them into a carrier to take them to Cindy's house. That's the neighbor. So, then they got to sort it out from there. So the kittens that she thought were out of her life have returned. So, and now the neighbor's involved, and the mother
Yeah.
has a name, and it's
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
yeah.
brilliant. Oh, that's fantastic.
Oh, that is.
Uh, but I give them all credit. They're trying to do the right thing.
Yeah,
You know,
that's, and that's it. I
Paula,
mean, we
Paula.
live.
One of them must be Popeye. What I got to name one of them Popeye.
Oh, yeah, all
Olive
of
Oil
them.
Popeye.
Oh, yes, yeah, that would be good.
Yeah.
That would be good. Yeah. I just hate it when people dump them. And every
Yeah.
now and then when we're driving, you see like big boxes on the side of the road that are tipped over, they're empty. And I always wondered, did someone have kittens and just let them go
Mm.
free
Yeah.
out out here? And there's coyotes, there's foxes.
Yeah.
Most of them aren't going to make it. I mean, take them to a shelter, leave them there.
Yeah.
If worse comes worse, don't just leave them.
Right. Give them a
Just
chance. Yeah.
give them a
Yeah.
chance. Give them a chance. And a lot of the farmers, what they do is they want the feral cats, but they'll go to the animal shelter and get the ones that are spayed, neutered, and bring them back and to be
Right.
their barn cats. They need those outdoor cats to keep the mice down, but
Right.
they want them
Right.
not having babies all over
They
the
don't want
place.
herds of them.
Right, right, right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and that's the easiest way to do it. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, at
Yeah.
least give them a chance.
mhm,
Yeah.
mhm,
What a pain.
mhm, mhm.
So Jennifer's being
It's
the
cat mama.
cat mama again. Yep.
All right, and
Okay,
then
so
and then
okay, so Beth, you were asking a question before we went on the air. So
Oh,
let's
yeah.
get to
and
that
Yeah.
because I can
okay.
tell Jessica's all fired up now. She's got answers.
Oh, good, good. I'm glad because I need answers. So I'm working on my casket, my cabinet of curiosities, and I've there's those little cartouches with the little animals in them, and I don't really like the little animals that are in them. So I keep thinking, well, what about the four gospels, the medieval four gospels? There's symbols for those, or the four creatures from Revelation, which are similar. But
Yeah.
I need a motif. I didn't pull it out today. I think it's down in the basement, but I don't think the motifs they're this big. I think the cartouches are small.
Yeah.
So I need
Yeah.
something very simple, very stylized that I can, use the threads I already have from the casket, because I've got threads. But where can I get an
Yeah.
image like that? Because it needs to be simple. It needs to be a simple line drawing, basically, because that's what they used
Yeah.
on them.
Yeah. Yeah. There's several. Um, there's definitely a few Opus Anglicanum pieces.
Oh,
And but I was thinking of the Uta chasuble from Italy nowadays, and that one has quite yeah, I like them. They bring a smile to my face because they are so simple, and
hmm
they are a little I think you would call it primitive. But they are quite nice, and they are in real life they are bigger than what you need, but because they are so simple, you can just shrink them. Because I don't
hmm
know, I think I can share my screen. Huh? I probably can find the picture. Um,
Ooh.
let's see.
Then
I know that.
because they do need to be simple, so I can trace them onto my fabric and then
Yeah,
decide how I'm going to actually stitch them. What stitches, what I have, I'm going to use. Oh, there's Jessica full screen.
yeah. Let's see. Yeah. Ooh, now I lost you guys. There. Uh, let's share my screen. Too many screens. I did click on the share screen, but it is not doing anything. Sorry, but Google Chrome. I don't have Google Chrome. Sorry, guys. This is mean.
Well,
But
let me see here.
um,
Seems like I
Gary,
have
you
a. Go
yeah,
ahead.
and I think Gary, you can go to my website, go to my blog, and go to the blog index, and then go to the heading embroidery from the 12th century. And there the Uta chasuble is.
All right, just a minute.
And it's named that way. And that should have a picture in
Go
it.
to the blog.
Yes, the block index.
Yep.
Oh, no, it doesn't have a picture. Oh, sorry, Gary. No, I'll send you the picture real quick through
All
the
right.
email. That's easier.
Okay.
Oh yeah, and I didn't think of looking up Mary Corbett, seeing if she had a very simple line drawing of ecclesiastical embroidery, because she might too.
Might be a good one as well. I mean, she has, tons. Let's see.
I was just thinking because those, they're 17th century caskets. That's when they were made, which is obviously after when you research,
Yeah.
but still, it's similar. I mean, it's all those images are they move them through the centuries. They didn't
don't
change it.
change a lot.
No.
Let's see. I think it's that one. And we'll just quickly send that one over.
Yes, Paula, you need to look into Jessica's blog. You need to get on the newsletters, what you need to do, Paula, and then you.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's on its way.
Okay. Yeah, then it gets the blog stuff gets fed to you, Paula, and you stay up to date. And do her Patreon.
Yeah, and for
thing while
everybody
you're at it.
looking for the tutorials, just go to the blog index, and at the bottom are all the tutorials.
Yeah, I got me thinking about those too, about those little needle minders, and how much fun they would be to do. Because I collect that silly overdyed stuff. And do I stitch with it? No, it just sits, and every now and then I take it out and I pet it, and then I put it back in its box, and I'm like, this is silly. I should stitch with this.
I'm still full screen, by the way. We don't want to scare people away.
You look great, Jessica. You look great. Go with it. Just ride with it, Jessica. Ride with
it. Too funny.
But that was my problem exactly with the overdyed threads. I'm going like, oh yeah, that one would be nice. Oh, that's a good color. And do you use them? No, they're in the drawer.
No. Right. And then you don't know how they stitch up either until you start playing with them. Let's see.
So that is one of them, and that one is Mark. It is supposed to be a lion. And I quite like these because they're very simple, but I know that there are a lot of things in Opus Anglicanum as well, which might be better suited. But these made me laugh. They're just
Yeah, I like that. Because I can. Okay, so because the lions, if you've ever seen the 17th century lions that the girls made, some of them are hilarious.
Oh yeah. They don't make sense at all.
No.
No.
You can tell, as someone said, you can tell they never saw one. They'd never seen a lion.
No. They look like a cross between a dog and a cat. They are hilarious. Yeah. But yeah, I've recently seen some.
So there's one of these for all the apostles?
No, for the evangelists. So for Mark, Luke, John, and who are we missing?
Luke, John, Matthew.
Matthew, thank you.
Yeah. And the only other thing is, I was just listening to Revelation, and it goes through the four creatures, which is the ox, the lion, I can't remember, and maybe it's an eagle, and then it has all the eyes around it, and I keep thinking, oh, wouldn't that be fun? How could you stitch those eyes in the background? Just have I think I'd creep people out if I tried that. You have all these pretty little flowers going around the casket, and then you have these eyes in the center of my cartouche. I don't know, people might think, okay, she obviously weirded out there. So maybe not. Maybe not.
She's really crazy. Yeah, no, no, no. And Revelation is not something that they stitched back in the
Right.
medieval period. I don't really know. I never come across anything Revelation much. No.
No, no, but the reason I kept going, because I kept going back and forth. What am I going to do with those cartouches? Because I really
Yeah.
don't care for the little creatures that are in them. I mean, they look fun. They'd be fun to stitch. But
Yeah.
you know, a leopard. Now the lion, okay, but there's a leopard. I can't remember what's on the other sides. I'm like, they don't have any meaning for me. And I kept thinking about when I'm thinking of Venice, going through Venice and seeing. I know there, especially there were the symbolism there, and so there's a lot of it. You see it all over, and I thought, that makes more sense to do the four
That's more
gospels.
personal. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So I do use over dyed threads occasionally. So I had a huge stash of, I'll just put it with this lovely tissue, of this Coloris over
Ooh.
dyed DMC with the reds. And that's what
Wow.
I'm using in Dawn to Dusk. Oh, if I can get it, it's pretty heavy. So that's
Wow.
my over dyed red that you see like in the center here. Where else? I put it here. I think it's here in this cross stitch.
Oh, wow.
But I finally decided to use it. The question now is, and I have plenty of it, should I put it, now this is going to be a padded satin stitch. Should I put it up here in the border? Or will it be too variegated? Should I use this maroon color, which is I think 814 on the border? Or should I go, and I don't think this dark gray is too gray.
Solid color on the border because there's too much else going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, but the maroon or gray. And then it has another border, remember, a Krynic border around the outer edge too. It's got a lot going on.
I'd want to test, but no variegation on that border.
No.
Yeah.
Too much.
Yeah, it's busy. It's a busy piece, and it still has beads to go on it.
Yeah. So,
Oh, wow.
The border's got to frame it, not
right.
Because otherwise, compete with it. It will compete. No.
Right. But you can't see the sparkle and the silver in these brocade.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyone that's thinking about working on it, work that brocade, because you'll get to a point. Now I'm dreading putting the beads in. I've got to start putting the beads in where I know I won't be catching the threads. So I'll be up here starting to add the beads.
That's something.
Yeah.
That's really impressive.
Yeah.
So yeah. So I do use variegated every now and then, but
Yeah.
I broke into the stash. That's huge. Yeah. I'd go a bit lighter than 814. Look at, oh yeah, you're right. Go a bit lighter than that dark red. Yeah, maybe lighten it up because it does. It's awfully dark. If I go too dark, and yet the gray, this is really a gray, the border, it's too light. I mean, it looks almost white against the black and the red, and I'm like, then no, that I don't like either. So, play. Yeah, Robin, I think you're right though. I was wondering, looking at a different red color, and then pulling because it's got these little. It's got a bunch of Jessicas that I haven't started yet, and those will be. I originally put them in red, but I'm thinking they need to be gray and silver to work. So always playing.
Yeah, it's really a beautiful piece. Wow.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah. Oh, and Gary, I need to send you a bill. The one I got from Evlia. You made me buy it.
No. I accept no responsibility. No.
No. And because, I mean, the shipping is actually okay. It's about $22, which I don't mind. On a large enough purchase, that's fine. But I, of course, get the bill from the German tax office. to
Yeah.
pay a 20% over what I bought from
Ouch.
Evlia. So I bought a bit more, and I bought a meter of her or a yard of her Greek that is now European linen,
Oh
and
yeah.
um, and I thought, oh my gosh, I hope it isn't wedding and linen from Germany because of course I've got that stuff. So
Oh
I
no.
emailed Krista and I said, oh no, if that's the case, then please cancel that part of my order because I have the stuff
Yeah.
somewhere. And she said, no, 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 it comes from somewhere else. So that is going to be really interesting as I have never stitched with that somewhere else linen. And
Oh.
I'm going to compare it because I think for most people that live in Europe, ordering the linen from Krista is just too expensive. I mean, not
Mhm.
because Krista is expensive, not at all, but the
Yeah.
tax office goes after us. And
Right.
I mean, just substituting one linen for another linen, not everybody's very comfortable with doing that because you don't know about the quality.
Right.
Hmm.
So let's see if we can come up with alternatives.
Man,
The what?
that tax thing
Oh,
just ruins the fun.
Yeah, it's mean. It's really mean.
Man.
Yeah.
Where
Uh,
where does that money go? Just into the general coffers, or is it earmarked for something?
Yeah. No, no, I think it goes into the general covers. And I must say, I mean, yeah, the standard of living in Europe is a bit higher than over at your side of the pond. So yeah, I do see why they do it, but yeah, it's a bit yeah.
Yeah.
No. Every so
up.
often it is fine, but just for a simple purchase, yeah, you have to think about it twice.
Yeah. What a shame.
Right. Oh, I'm curious to know what you think about that, the linen.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I I did enjoy using it for the one piece I stitched because it did make. Are you talking about the stuff that chevrons when you wash it?
No, no, it's
Okay.
the Greek linen she had,
Okay.
which is now then the European linen. And
Okay.
it will be really interesting because most people use Zweigart, which is
Mm-hmm.
okay. I mean, it's good linen, but it's not the best out there. And when we had that whole that Maxima Alba linen or Maxima Alba linen,
Yeah. Yeah. That stuff.
that was actually from Weddinge in Germany.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
That
No,
stuff
and
was
they
nice.
that was so cool.
I
Yeah,
still
and they're
I
no
still
longer
have a
making
yard.
it.
I have a yard I'm hoarding. No, you
Okay.
can't have
Yeah.
So
any.
I was so I know. Let's go. We need to make a raid on your house. We'll lock you up and go through your linen stash. Keep
I'll
all
take
your
it with me.
Hand
stuff,
over.
other stuff. We just want your linen.
I'll take it with
Yeah,
me. Oh, that stuff is so nice.
yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, yeah. No, yeah, and I'm hoping to find something yeah, similar and just see how does the 30 count of Weddinge compare to Graziano, compare to Sotema, compare to any of the other ones,
Uh huh.
and see how they hold up once you've stitched things and washed them. Because
Yeah.
Right.
washing is sort of, yeah, the proof.
Right.
Uh,
Yeah. Because what now? Here we've got the McKean. There's the traditional ground cloth that Krista has, and that's what this Sea of Light border. That's what this stuff is. And
yeah,
then she has the McKinney, and that's a different. But then she has the linen too. That's her own linen, right? Yeah, she has
yeah.
all three kinds of cloth, and that linen is not something you just get anywhere.
No, I don't think so. I'm not sure how it compares to Zweigart because Zweigart has
Right.
30 count linen as well.
Right.
But I'm not so interested in the Zweigart because that is just run of the mill. It's okay, but it's not very high quality.
Yeah.
Usually the Italian linens are much better, and
Yeah.
Wedding is usually better too.
I wonder if it's legacy. She's used legacy linen too. For a while, she really liked. She had a 30 count legacy linen she liked because that's what I did my Avlia piece on, which was beautiful. It came out very nice. And then I had to wash it because I stitched on it in a hoop, and it washed beautifully. It's lovely.
Yeah.
So
And the question is, what is legacy linen? Because
yeah.
legacy is, of course, the American name. and it will be
Mm-hmm.
really interesting to see which is which. So when I get sort of all the samples in, I think I'm going to send you small samples as well, and you can compare, and we find out what the legacy linen is, because that is
Yeah.
something that would really interest me.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. Because it is something that's made relatively close to me, and I have no idea.
Interesting.
I'm just
Interesting.
looking to see if there's a description on her website. Let's
Yeah,
see.
and you can tell the different linens, the quality.
Yeah, yeah,
Um, but that
yeah.
Graciano, now what did I stitch?
Mm.
I know I stitched something on it, and I'm wondering if it was um, the Dawn to Dusk was stitched on that.
Yeah,
My white work piece,
yeah.
which again washed up beautifully, because again it sat around for years, and I was terribly mean to it, and it had to be washed.
Yeah.
But it's it did fine. I mean, I didn't throw it in the washing machine, but
Yeah.
No, no,
but
no.
but a nice gentle wash, it did fine. That'd be interesting. And the other thing is, we were talking to Ann Beck, um, an embroidery artist here who did costuming, and she said she orders from Europe calico because she can't
Oh,
get
yeah.
the same quality of calico. And I know what she's saying because I've looked at local fabric stores, I've even looked at quilt stores for a higher quality calico for
Yeah,
doing, putting as a base on
yeah.
something, and you just can't. Um,
Oh,
so
that's
I'm like,
interesting.
um, it, it's just the muslin, and someone says, oh, substitute muslin. Well, muslin is not.
It's not the
If you have
same.
a
No,
piece, no, and if you take a piece of that calico from Europe and you take it, there's nothing that weight and
no.
that weave here in the United States that I can find. Now, maybe someone does import it and we just don't know, but
Yeah.
no one
I
I
don't.
know
I don't
does.
think it. I don't think it's available here
Mm-hmm.
at the weight that they have in Europe.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Yeah.
when you guys talk about using calico as a base, and any of the videos or any of the pictures, you can tell it's a much heavier weight.
Oh, yeah.
Because to us,
Yeah.
calico is just like a cheap cloth. It's not.
Right.
I mean,
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, this stuff is cheap as well. I think, yeah,
But
it's what you
it's a
see
whole lot
behind
better
me
cheap.
at the
But
top.
it's a
Yeah.
lot better cheap. I mean, ours is
Yeah.
just cheap, flimsy stuff.
Oh, no, no, it
Yeah.
is really good for mounting your pieces
Right.
afterwards. It's really, really strong. Yeah. No. Oh, but that's so
Interesting.
interesting. Yeah. And I mean, I'm not going to take any custom away from Krista because I'm not going to sell the linen, but I'm just thinking it is so unfair that things are made here that are sold over in your place, getting a new name, and we should really be able to get it here and not being reliant on having stuff sent to the US and then sent back from the US, and it's just ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
Nah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it's a shame because we can't support our local mills because we have no idea what it is. And it is what people do. I mean, a designer or a kit calls for a certain type of linen. That's what you want because you're thinking, I want the same result.
Right.
Nah. And then
Right.
discovering that you actually have it in your stash is, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So true. So
Now here's
true.
Sandy saying Liberty of London is good. Do you know that one, Jessica?
Yeah. Um, but again, for me, out of reach now because they're no longer in the
Right.
EU.
Right.
And they are pretty expensive.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Liberty of London is very pricey. Very pricey. I
Oh, yeah.
managed not. I walked by their store and I managed not to go in. I was with my whole family though, so that's probably part of the reason. But I came this close to begging, can we just walk through? But I knew if I'd gone in, I wouldn't have wanted to come out. And there was someplace we were headed to, I think, that day. So it's
Oh,
like,
And
oh
it is a
man,
beautiful building to go into
yes.
because
The
it's so
outside was
old.
gorgeous. The
Yeah,
outside was gorgeous.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
now here
But
Candra's
but
asking Jessica, can't you order from Europe or from Greece?
I would love to if I knew where to order from.
Oh,
Because you have
mm,
the trouble that their websites are, of course, in Greek, and that is also a very
oops.
different script. So yeah, no, yeah,
yeah. I feel sorry for, it's hard if you're in Europe and you want a certain item and
yeah,
you just
yeah,
you
yeah,
cannot get it.
no, no. Or you think
No.
that you don't have it, and you actually have it, but it's just called a different name. That
Right,
that is the
right.
frustrating part.
Yeah.
No.
Now Edna, that might be that Southern Belle rings a bell, because I know Kathy when Alba became went out of stock, was no longer available. I know Kathy was looking for an equivalent, and boy, that Southern Belle sounds like it might have been what she found that was as close as she could get to the Alba.
Yeah,
So
I might be placing a small order because I need something for the because we're supposed to be. I'm thinking about. I got to put this on
Ooh,
backing before I
yeah,
stitch on it, and I was thinking, well, I have muslin downstairs. I could, put it on muslin and then put it on the um, slate frame. But will it stretch if I use just plain muslin? Would the muslin stretch? She's shaking
yeah,
her head. Yes. Oh,
probably.
rats.
Yeah, yeah, probably. Yeah. No.
Yeah. Okay. So I think I better get what I really need, and because I could do a little more foiling and flocking on that before I frame it up. Then that gives me an opportunity while I wait.
Yeah. Somebody is saying, ask Krista, I'll bet she'd tell you. Yeah, but it turns out that Krista's linen doesn't come from Greece. That's what she wrote in her newsletter a couple of days ago. It actually comes from Europe, and that's why it's now called European linen. Um, I I do know that there is a Greek company that makes canvas, but I'm not sure they also make embroidery linen. I met them years and years ago, but the quality wasn't good enough.
oh,
Mm,
Uh,
yeah.
so I dropped that one. Yeah.
Yeah. This is the. It's fun to stitch on the stuff that Gary is using. At first you think, oh, this kind of feels weird, but the holes are nice. It's just fun, and it
yeah.
stitches up really well. So
Yeah.
the Greek, it's good for cross stitch, and I like it that she says it's good for using. That's the other thing. We tend to. Someone else just said, grandma's old linens. You got all these table, like this one's sitting here, and I think I got this in a state sale, and I use it when I'm stitching to cover things.
Yeah.
But people just, it's in the closets, and then all of a sudden it shows up at estate sales because it was too good to use. Well, now it's going to estate sales or into Goodwill
Yeah.
barrels, and
Yeah. And it's a shame. Just use
hmm
the stuff.
just use it,
Nah.
enjoy it,
Yeah.
enjoy
Yeah.
it.
Nah. Yeah. And if you drop red wine on it, well, so be it. You stitch a new one.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Put a vase on top of it, of
Ah,
flowers,
yeah. Make a
a
feature out of
coaster.
it. Put a border around it, and it's a feature.
That's right. That's right. Why not? Why not? Yeah. And I've in fact I know somewhere in this house I have pillowcases that my mother stitched
Oh, wow.
and the border on, and I'm thinking I've got to find those silly things and use them. This is silly,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
and because they're bright. She obviously did it when she was a little kid, so they're like purple
Oh
and
yeah.
Yeah.
red and hot pink.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
And I'm like, and it reminds me. I mean, when I see them, it reminds me of my mother. There's just no
Yeah.
doubt about it.
Yeah.
It's all right.
Yeah.
I wish I could send you some of this, Krista. If I sent you a little envelope with Vicky Clayton silk, would they ping you? They're little, they're like bobbins.
Oh, um, no, that would be okay. That
Okay.
would be okay. That gets through. Yeah.
All right.
Especially when things are, I mean, you're not a company, so as long as you don't send me a whole moving boxes full of stuff, it is usually okay.
Okay.
Nah,
All right. I'll have
oh
to.
yeah, the Vicky Clayton stuff. Oh yeah.
Have you tried
Never
it?
tried any of. No,
Oh
no.
no. Okay. So I have to know what's your favorite color.
Oh, I'm like Gary. I do blues.
Oh, blues. Oh.
Red blue.
Okay. Well, and believe it or not, I have some.
Ooh.
Don't be
Oh
shocked,
wow.
Gary. Don't be shocked.
I thought all you had was red. Red in every shade.
Well, that too. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the other thing where ecclesiastical embroidery, where they get their stuff from. Yeah. Uh,
Yeah, I
yeah.
don't know.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, Paul, and that's the thing, to like Beth does, to go to estate sales and save that cloth. If it's in good condition, it's uh, yeah, you can't get that stuff today.
Right. In fact,
No.
I gave some. I had a friend. She and her sister had a collection of old magazines, and um, I wish I could remember the name of it. Anyway, someone had given me some old linens that still had the printing on them for doing some sort of embroidery, and I don't remember if it was like the cut work or, but the feel of the linen was so much heavier and
Yeah.
nicer than you buy nowadays. And I was like, I knew I was never going to stitch them. And I said, and they had on it the name of the magazine. That was what, and I
Oh,
recognized it. And I said, okay, this needs to go with your collection,
yeah.
because they thought that's what they would do. They would keep the whole collection together and give it to a museum, or they're going to do something with that whole thing. And I said, just take the whole thing.
Yeah.
Because I
Yeah.
wasn't going to stitch it, but someone had given it to me, saying, "Oh, you do embroidery. This was in my
Yeah.
mom's stash," and I was like, "Yeah, well, now it's going to
Yeah.
find even better home than my stash."
Oh yeah.
But
Yeah.
again, that stuff is now it's becoming it's history, because that magazine's no longer printed. The quality of the linen's not being used.
Right.
No, no, it's a real shame.
Yeah,
No.
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. My son was up in Boston this summer for a job, and I didn't know this, but he went to a textile museum, textile mill museum, and I should have asked him to look around for some spools for me, see
Uh-huh.
if he could find any
Oh,
spools cheap.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and he's heading back now home this week, so I, I knew he was. I didn't want him to have to go back out to Lowell to look around, but he said that was fascinating. He said the industry that was out there was just fascinating.
Yes. Oh
So
yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I surveyed some of the mills in England as part of an internship once. as an archaeologist. And it was just fun because it meant that you were allowed to go into the displays in those museums and walk
Oh,
between the machines. And it was
Oh,
fascinating. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Spinning jennies and what else was out there. It was really, really interesting.
hmm.
Yeah. Well, and he was looking for the Jacquard machines,
Yeah.
because he's an
Yeah.
electrical engineer, and so with computer
Ah.
science knowledge, and yeah, that's what he was like. Yeah, and it was, I don't know. They had a whole engineering discussion on how they worked, and I kind of
Oh, yeah.
half tuned in. That was a little over my head.
Yeah.
uh, but
Yeah.
but yeah, but that stuff is fascinating. I mean, it's just,
Oh, yeah.
I'd like to go see it myself. It would make more. You can't just tell me about it. I need a picture. I need a picture.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
need to see it working.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that whole movement, you're nerdy talking about getting a crocheted blanket from the store. That whole movement of instead of buying new clothes, uh, going to thrift shops and just getting stuff and wearing it is, I mean, that's quite large. There's a singer, an incredibly talented singer I follow, her name is Morgan James. Why she doesn't play to stadiums, I don't know, but she when she performs, a lot of times when she goes to a city, she'll go to a thrift store and get vintage dresses, and then that's what she'll wear at her performances in that town. She does it a lot, and they, of course they look like they're brand new, fancy designer things, and no, just gets them from a
No.
thrift store, because why not?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And actually, that's all my daughter does, is she thrifts,
Yeah.
and and there's a big store here in the Quad Cities. Well, not a big, it's small, but it's called Fred and Ethel's. It's by the local college, and that's where they have the college and this little vintage store. They have a thing where when they have plays, they go through and pick the clothes out for the plays out of her vintage clothing,
Oh.
use them for the plays, and then
Uh-huh.
I think take them back. And people specifically, she is known for her vintage clothing. I know I took
Oh.
my daughter Rachel there at least once to look for clothing, um,
Wow.
and yeah, she's just known for it. She's known, and it's a thing around here, because if there's vintage clothing, well, you know the American Pickers, right? The
Yeah.
TV
Yeah.
show. Okay, they're here. They're in LeClaire, and
Oh.
I saw one of the girls from the show picking picking clothing at an estate sale,
Uh-huh.
Ah.
and that was the time I think I got a bag full of linen for $10, like a big garbage bag full of linen. I mean, it was
Wow.
beautiful stuff that we
Uh-huh.
we divided among
Wow.
art people and over dyed and then stitched, and people, they were made into quilts, and yeah, I paid nothing for it. It was like,
Oh,
and
wow.
it was sad. It was sad because I picked what I thought we could use, and there was like a wall of it that this lady never used.
Wow.
I
Yeah.
think, and I don't know if that it was at that estate sale or a different one, where I found Dublin linen in a box that no one had used.
Oh.
Oh.
And
Oh, gosh.
it was beautiful linen. It was just beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah, and
You know,
that's
and
that's where you just know that somebody was constantly telling herself, "Oh no, I'll use that one day for something really good," and then it ends up in an estate sale, and it's
Yep.
just
right,
use the
right,
stuff.
right. Use it, use it. And in
Yeah.
fact, I think I gave a piece to someone in my guild because she was doing surface embroidery, and she was like, I was like, well, just take a piece of this and use it.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
fine linen. You might need to back it. It was might have been a little too thin for what she was doing, but
Yeah.
I don't know what she did with it, but she took some. But I just hated it to sit there
Right.
Yeah.
Use it.
Yeah.
Use it.
Oh, yeah.
There's Nerdy's bright blanket.
Oh,
Need
I love
need
it.
sunglasses for that.
I love it. Yeah, and actually, if you though, it's all the rage to make those
Wow.
granny square vests
Yeah.
Yep.
and bags, and to get these old crocheted blankets and take them apart and make something else with them.
Yeah.
Oh, now we got to look at Beth's shirt. Let's see.
My
That has
shirt.
the periodic
Oh,
table on it.
it's my periodic table of coffee.
Yeah.
Yes, I am a chemistry nerd.
Yeah. It's fun.
Yes, Robin. It's when I saw it. I mean, I don't remember if my kids bought it or I bought it for myself. It was just one of those ones. I'm sorry. I love coffee, and I have a chemistry degree. I need the shirt. I need the shirt. It's my favorite, and I can't find another one either. So it's like, what in the world happened with that? I can find wine. A wine periodic table and a beer one, but not
Okay.
a coffee
Not
one.
the- Hmm.
Ask Robin about the state fair. Robin's holding out.
Ooh. Oh, Robin.
Robin's holding out.
Did she win Best of Show? Blue ribbons? Robin. Inquiring minds want to know. Oh, that reminds me. I've got to mail my package to A&G this week. That better go on my to-do list. Maybe tomorrow. I've got I signed up to put my lizard piece in the show.
Oh, that's right. You said you
That's
were
a
gonna.
good idea. Oh, wow.
Yeah, and to have it and to get it critiqued. I thought, I'm sending it off. I might as well get it critiqued too. So
Yeah.
Okay. See, now Robin is making it difficult for us. We had desserts and vegetables in the lab, and yes to both. This is
she won
not
Best
helping.
of Show and a blue ribbon, is what she's telling me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations for that.
Yes,
Wow.
definitely. Way to go. Way to go.
Fantastic.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh, 2 best of show. Okay. Wow.
Excellent.
Kendra is now going to give us the real facts here. Okay.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Kendra. Thank you, Kendra.
Now we're going to get the story. That's an amazing year right
Amazing. Gosh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
there. Outstanding.
That's great. And it's good that I think it's for me, I think, oh yeah, I'm going to take the time to submit a form and put something in the show. But I always forget. I always forget to do it. There's a local one going on in the next county over. I think I could put something in there if I'd gotten myself organized and found the form and yada yada, but I didn't. So that's great. I don't know the results. Have 3 pieces still unknown. It's 2 sweepstakes awards. Oh, no state fairs on this side of the pond.
No, it's a mystery to me as well, Paula. We don't have those things either. No.
Yeah, I think they're fun to see what people do.
Yeah.
The local needlework. well, any sort of, there's woodworking, there's drawing, there's painting. If you're in, we went to the Minnesota Fair a lot, State Fair a lot. There's the tractors, and it was kind of fun to see all the agricultural stuff. But
that's what
I guess,
that's what those grew out of, was, who can have the best cow, who can have the best pig, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then of
who
course,
can make the best jelly?
that's right. Yeah, the best jelly, best pie. Yeah.
No, it's unknown here.
The Rock Island State Fair is over. A friend said, "Oh, wanted me to help at the fair," and I got busy, and I thought, shoot, I didn't even enter. So there you go.
Yeah.
It'd be helpful if I got myself organized, but that's a misnomer. Me organized. Oh, and Cindy did well with her pieces. Oh, now we're going to have to talk to Miss Cindy.
Yeah.
Yeah. See what she did.
What this tells me is next Wednesday for the live show.
Oh, yes.
This is what
All right,
this
Robin.
is telling me.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Is Robin and Cindy need to fess up here next Wednesday at the live show with photos.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think we need.
Yeah,
to
so
have
we
a
can
little
see. So we can see.
celebration of awards there.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I'll send an email.
An email will ensue.
I think that's what needs to happen next Wednesday. Yeah.
Perfect.
Nice.
Okay, so here's all right. Let me just get an opinion here, because I'll tell you how I would do it, but let me get an opinion. All right, so I'm doing these Crystal West charts here are. Okay, let's see. Do I have all me? I do. Okay. All right, so I'm doing these little these right here. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So let's see how people would do it. Just as a thing. So I've done this here. Here. Okay.
Yeah.
Which is the outer edge. Now, when I get down to the bottom here, then my normal plan would be to stitch all of this in the middle. And then to come back and finish the outside.
Yeah. I
Or
would
would-
probably do the same.
Okay.
And
Or
I
would you-
wouldn't.
or
I'd
would you
do
stitch
the
the whole
outer
frame
and
then
do the
fill in?
middle.
You'd fill in.
I'd do the fill in last, making sure I got that all counted right. Some of her patterns, they look like they're simple, and yet they're not.
And they're not. No.
Because it's
So-
it's a choice I can make right now is to go ahead and finish that frame, that surrounding border, and then fill in.
Yeah.
See, I'm a lazy cross stitcher. I don't like to count, so I try to fill in anything I have to count, and then go back and do the non-counting at the end, kind of like as a. So if
Yeah,
I'm going to
as a-
have
as
to
sort of
count
a
those
break.
little diagonals to figure out, oh, I have to stop here and go back, I would just go around and do that outer edge.
Okay, see, and
But
for
that-
me, it would be, where is my hand on the piece? So if I sort of move down, like you are proposing, Gary, my hand would move down and I would not touch the stitching.
Yeah.
That would be my point.
Mm-hmm.
And I stitch upside down for some weird reason that I cannot figure out. So like, here, let me pull this off.
Yeah.
And I keep thinking maybe I should start from the bottom and work up instead of, so like
Yeah.
I'm working on,
Yeah.
where am I? I can't see myself.
So
So
Wow.
you're
this is,
stitching that upside down?
yes. And I don't know why I am. I mean, I could stitch it the other way, but why I do,
Well, that would just give
it's
me
how
a
my,
headache and a half.
that's
Yeah.
how I stitch. I stitch it upside down.
What is wrong with you?
Yeah.
Well, Lord only knows. We don't know what's wrong with me. That's the problem. So,
Wow. You normally
yeah.
do that?
yes, all the time. I'm stitching the lavender and lace angel because I think Nerdy just talked about that. I've got a lavender, and I started at the head, and the head is down here, and I'm going to work my
Wow.
way this. I roll it up. Why I can't stitch the other way, I don't know. I tried twice.
So you
I
that's
just
just
like-
the way you see it, huh?
Yeah. So I just stitch it upside
Oh.
down.
Wow.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
So yeah, and
Yeah.
I think the squirrels and the gold is going to work. Can you see that? Let me pull it back a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
Get better
Yeah.
color.
This is baffling to me. This is most interesting.
Yes. Yeah.
Kind of weird. I admit it.
Huh.
Wow.
So there you go.
That's a cool
That's
design
under-
too, by the way.
Yeah. Modern
Oh,
folk
yeah.
embroidery.
Right.
I thought so. Yeah.
Yeah. It's very relaxing. The counting isn't hard on it for some reason, which I don't understand because it's kind of complicated in spots, but it's not difficult at all.
Yeah.
So
It's very beautiful.
Man, I find that fascinating. You can even do that. I couldn't cope.
Oh, I would constantly go like that,
Yeah,
you know?
there,
Sort of-
that,
yeah.
that.
no,
Yeah.
seeing it.
And then you'd have
I
to go to
just-
the chiropractor because your neck's all out of whack. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ah,
Why is your neck out of whack? Because I stitch upside down. Then
Upside
don't
down.
stitch upside down.
upside down.
You know,
But
I'm with
it
you.
is true that some patterns you see better under a 90-degree angle. That I have very often, but not a 180-degree
No.
turnaround. It's
No.
just no.
I know, and it's just, and I'm stitching Esther Benson that way with all those little letters.
Yeah.
And then if I get to the end, when I get to this bottom of this piece, I'll probably flip it the other way and stitch the bottom.
Weird.
I am weird.
Ah,
Hey, if it works,
Special.
whatever.
Special.
Yeah, that. Mhm.
wow.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's interesting. That's just interesting that your mind would even.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
All
You
right.
have a science mind. It's
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And yeah,
wow.
I don't know. And a lot of times I can flip things in my head. So like that Avlia design, I knew I was tired. I made a huge mistake on one of the ends. And normally I can just flip it in my head and stitch. But I was tired and I was stitching and I was like, and I did it the wrong way. I was like, and I looked and I was like, something's wrong here. And then I looked and I'm like, 30 minutes of stitching needs to come out.
No, I had a student once who did the cross stitch, and she would literally turn every row she did. And I found that so
What?
crazy, but says, yeah, that's the only way I can do it. She would just turn the whole thing. Yeah. And then go the other way. So that you constantly work in the same direction, basically. And it was so weird.
Hmm.
Yeah. Some people do that. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, I better go. It's 10:40.
Oh my! Our half-hour show is. I
Yeah.
wasn't even paying
It's,
attention. Okay. Yeah. Fiber talk time is different from real time. Just accept.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. I honestly, I hadn't looked at the clock. I didn't realize Yeah. All right, we're done. We'll be back tomorrow at 10:30 Eastern time, whatever that is in your time zone. And let's hope there's some racing. Otherwise, we'll do more of this. Either way, it works. So,
All right.
all right.
It does.
Thanks,
Bye.
everybody. Bye.
Bye.